Time doesn't pause because you're uncertain. It doesn't slow down because you're afraid. And it never stops because you keep telling yourself one day. Another year is passing, and the truth is, if you don't get intentional right now, if you don't decide who you're going to be and what you're going to build, this year will vanish just like the last one. Nothing changes until you do. Nothing happens until you move. This is your wake-up call, not just to dream, but to decide. Wasting time doesn't always look like doing nothing. Sometimes it looks like staying busy with the wrong things. It looks like overthinking instead of executing. It looks like scrolling through life instead of sculpting it. Deep down, you know there's more in you. You know what it feels like to go to bed with regret because you didn't give the day your best. But there's a fire inside you, and that fire is purpose. It's waiting for you to stop ignoring it. You don't need more time. You need a clear purpose. The clock isn't your enemy. Your indecision is. People spend years running in circles because they never commit to one path. They wait for permission, wait for signs, wait until it's perfect. But time doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who act, who move forward even when it's hard, even when they're scared. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The only way to create momentum is through action, not talking, not planning, doing. Your desire must become non-negotiable. A wish will not pull you out of mediocrity, but a burning desire will. That kind of desire doesn't care about how long it takes. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't get distracted by temporary pleasure. It's hungry, it's focused, it's committed to growth, no matter what it costs. And when you feed that desire daily with discipline, nothing can stop you. But you can't do it alone. Your environment is shaping you whether you realize it or not. If the people around you don't challenge you, push you, or inspire you, you will start to shrink just to fit in. Protect your space like your life depends on it, because it does. Surround yourself with energy that aligns with your vision, not your excuses. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your reality. Every wasted year is made up of wasted days, and every powerful year is built one decision at a time. Choose power over comfort. Choose action over avoidance. Choose your future over your fear. This is not just another year. It's your chance to become everything you were meant to be. But only if you stop postponing your greatness and start building it today. Don't let another year slip through your fingers while you hold on to doubt. Listen to this now, and then get up and make sure the next 12 months are the most powerful ones you've ever lived. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever possess. Unlike money, it cannot be earned back, saved for later, or borrowed from someone else. Once it is gone forever. Yet most people treat time like it's unlimited, wasting hours, days, even years on distractions, indecision, and fear. The truth is, your entire life is built in the moments that seem small and insignificant. Every second you spend with intention compounds into the future you desire, and every second you waste slips into the category of regret. If you truly understood the value of your time, you would never let it be stolen by things that don't serve your purpose. Time is your greatest asset because it is the foundation of every dream you'll ever build. Every goal, every transformation, every breakthrough begins with how you choose to use your time. The successful are not those with more talent, more money, or more luck. They are those who have mastered their hours. They guard their days with discipline. They spend their time on growth, learning, and action. They understand that time spent on purpose multiplies, while time spent drifting disappears. Wasting time isn't just about doing nothing. It's about doing the wrong things. It's about filling your schedule with what feels urgent instead of what is truly important. It's spending too long doubting yourself, waiting for motivation, or trying to please people who don't value your destiny. Every delay has a cost, and every distraction has a consequence. If you don't value your time, the world won't either. Others will use it, fill it, and take it if you don't protect it. To treat time like the treasure it is, you must live with urgency, not panic but purpose. You must wake up every day knowing that the minutes ahead are an investment. How you use them will either bring you closer to your vision or further away from it. The way you spend your morning shapes your day. The way you spend your week shapes your month. And the way you spend your year defines your life. When you begin to see time as your most precious resource, you stop wasting it on excuses, you stop procrastinating on what matters, you stop allowing fear to pause your progress. Instead, you take ownership, you prioritize, you decide what really matters, and you give it your best. You learn, you move, you grow. There are people who would give anything for just one more day, and here you are with a full day in your hands. What will you do with it? How will you honor it? Because time is not something you manage, it's something you maximize. Every great life begins with a decision to stop letting time slip away and to start using it like it's the most powerful force you have. Because it is. Without a clear and definite purpose, life becomes a series of distractions, detours, and wasted potential. People drift not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they lack direction. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, everything begins to align. Your thoughts gain focus, your actions gain power, and your time gains meaning. Definiteness of purpose is not just about setting goals. It's about locking in on a mission that pulls you forward with clarity and intention. It's about eliminating the unnecessary and elevating what truly matters. A mind without purpose is like a ship without a compass. It might move, but it will never reach a meaningful destination. It gets pushed by the winds of opinion, the waves of fear, and the currents of comfort. But when purpose is defined, when you say, "This is what I will do, no matter what," you stop drifting, you begin building, you move with energy that no external resistance can break. Purpose gives power to your yes and even more power to your no. You begin to recognize which opportunities align and which ones are distractions dressed as options. Definiteness of purpose also ignites discipline. You stop needing to be pushed because your vision pulls you. You stop chasing everything because you're committed to something. Doubt loses its grip when your why becomes stronger than your fear. Most people spend their time reacting to life. Those with purpose, they create it. They shape their days around their vision. They don't waste time wondering if they're doing the right thing because they've already decided what matters. That decision becomes the foundation for every choice they make. When your purpose is clear, failure doesn't stop you. It instructs you. Obstacles don't discourage you. They shape your character. Setbacks become stepping stones because you understand that everything serves the mission. Purpose doesn't make the journey easy, but it makes it worth it. You can endure the long nights, the rejection, the delay, because you know what you're building and why it matters. Purpose also attracts. It draws the right people, the right resources, and the right opportunities into your life because the universe responds to clarity. You begin to operate from intention instead of reaction, and that kind of energy is magnetic. People feel when you're walking in conviction. They see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice, and trust it in your presence. So ask yourself, what is your definite purpose? What burns in your heart so deeply that you're willing to sacrifice comfort for progress? When you answer that question and commit to it fully, life changes. You stop surviving and start building. You stop wandering and start leading. And one day you'll look back and realize it wasn't luck, it wasn't talent. It was the power of a clear, definite purpose that gave your life direction, drive, and destiny. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, but desire alone is not enough. It must evolve, it must grow until it consumes your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. It must become obsession, not the unhealthy kind, but the focused, relentless drive that fuels champions, visionaries, and all who defy the odds. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is that achievers don't just wish for something, they become consumed by it. Their desire isn't casual, it's constant. It doesn't show up occasionally, it lives in them daily. When your desire becomes obsession, everything else rearranges around it. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop giving energy to distractions, the late nights, early mornings, sacrifices, and setbacks. They no longer feel like burdens because they are part of the mission. People who are obsessed with their goal don't complain about the process. They embrace it. They understand that greatness isn't reserved for the lucky. It's reserved for the relentless. Desire, when shallow, fades the moment resistance shows up. But when it's deep, when it becomes an obsession, it becomes your reason. It becomes the fire that keeps you moving when motivation is gone. You don't wait to feel inspired, because the vision itself is enough to get you out of bed. You're not just interested in winning. You are committed to it. You aren't hoping for a breakthrough. You're working until it arrives. There is a reason why most people don't reach the top. It's not because they're not smart enough or talented enough. It's because they never fully gave themselves to one thing. They played it safe. They dabbled. They wanted success, but not enough to give up comfort. Obsession demands that you give everything, your focus, your energy, your belief. It demands that you shut out the noise, push through the fear, and keep showing up long after everyone else has quit. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be doubted. People will say you're doing too much, wanting too much, believing too much. But that's what obsession looks like to the uncommitted. Let them talk. While they doubt, you build. While they sleep, you work. While they wait, you create. Obsession means there is no plan B, because plan A is who you are. You don't dabble in your dream. You live in it, breathe it, and chase it with everything you have. Eventually, that obsession creates momentum. That momentum becomes results, and those results become reality. Not because you were the most gifted, but because you were the most committed. Because you burned so brightly for what you wanted that the world had no choice but to respond. So stop apologizing for wanting it so badly. Let your desire take over. Let it push you, discipline you, mold you, turn that quiet want into a roaring fire, because when your desire becomes obsession, the impossible starts to look like destiny. Fear and doubt are not signs that you're failing. They are signs that you're human. Everyone feels them, but the ones who rise, the ones who transform their lives, are those who refuse to stay stuck in hesitation. They know the secret. Action is the cure. You cannot think your way out of fear. You cannot overanalyze your way through doubt. You move through it, you act, and in doing so, you take back your power. The moment you take action, even the smallest step, fear begins to shrink and doubt loses its voice. Fear thrives in stillness. When you do nothing, fear grows. It multiplies in your mind, painting worst case scenarios, whispering lies about your worth and your future. Doubt begins to echo louder, feeding off your inaction, convincing you that you're not ready, not capable, not enough. But all of that begins to unravel the moment you do something, even if it's imperfect. Even if it's uncertain, action breaks the illusion that fear is in control. It proves to your mind and your spirit that progress is possible. There's a reason successful people are known for massive action. It's not because they're fearless, it's because they've learned how to move despite fear. They've built a habit of acting quickly, of trusting the process over the emotion. They don't wait to feel confident. They act, and confidence is built along the way. You become powerful when you do the thing you're afraid of. Not because the fear disappears, but because you realize you are bigger than it. Doubt feeds on delay. The longer you wait, the stronger it gets. But when you take action, you force doubt into the light. You give yourself feedback, momentum, and most importantly, evidence. Evidence that you can figure things out. Evidence that you can grow. Evidence that you're stronger than you thought. Action builds belief, and belief compounds into unstoppable momentum. Most people are waiting for the right time, the right mood, the perfect conditions, but that moment rarely comes. You don't need clarity to act. You gain clarity by acting. You don't need certainty to move, you build certainty by walking the path. You don't need to know every step of the journey, just take the next one. One step forward is more powerful than 1,000 thoughts about what could go wrong. Make it your standard to act, to do the uncomfortable thing, to move even when the voice in your head says, "What if it doesn't work?" You respond by saying, "What if it does?" And then you take the step. Because that's where transformation begins, not in the thought, but in the decision to move. So if fear is speaking loudly and doubt is trying to trap you, the answer is not to wait, it's to act. Action is the medicine. It's the spark, it's the answer you've been searching for all along. Move and the path reveals itself. Move and your power returns. Your environment is shaping you more than you realize. Every voice you hear, every atmosphere you spend time in, every person you allow close to you, they are either feeding your growth or fueling your stagnation. Destiny is not only determined by what you do, but also by where you place yourself and who you choose to be influenced by. You cannot expect to grow into greatness while being surrounded by mediocrity. You cannot expect to think bold, act strong, and live with purpose if your environment constantly drains your energy or dilutes your vision. The truth is, you are not just a product of your thoughts. You are a product of what surrounds your thoughts, the conversations you participate in, the energy in your space, the standards of those around you. All of it is shaping your identity. If you stay in places where comfort is celebrated more than courage, where small thinking is the norm, and where dreams are dismissed as unrealistic, it becomes harder and harder to hold onto your fire. Eventually, without even realizing it, you begin to shrink to match your surroundings. Your language shifts, your expectations lower, your ambition fades, not because you're weak, but because your environment is working against your purpose. But when you place yourself in the right environment, everything changes. Growth becomes natural. You start to think bigger, push harder, and expect more from yourself, not because someone is forcing you, but because you've aligned yourself with people and places that breathe life into your potential. A powerful environment challenges you, stretches you, and holds you accountable to your highest self. It doesn't let you settle. It demands that you rise. Sometimes protecting your environment means walking away from people you've known for years. It means saying no to gatherings that feel familiar but feed your fears. It means creating space, even if it gets quiet, so that your mind can think clearly and your heart can align with your calling. Greatness requires intentional space. You don't need noise. You need clarity. You don't need constant validation. You need truth. You have the right to choose where you place your energy. You have the right to elevate your environment so your vision can breathe and your mission can thrive. You don't have to apologize for outgrowing people, places, or habits that no longer support who you are becoming. Your destiny is too important, your purpose is too big, and your time is too precious. If you want to change your life, start by changing your environment. Build a space around you that reflects where you're going, not where you've been. Let every corner of your life, your conversations, your schedule, your circle, remind you of the future you're creating. Because when you get your environment right, everything else begins to align, growth accelerates, vision expands, and destiny, once distant, begins to unfold right in front of you. Self-discipline is the invisible force that turns intentions into results, dreams into reality, and potential into power. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, goals remain wishes and visions stay locked inside your imagination. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. It's the quiet, consistent voice that says, "Do it anyway," when comfort tempts you to wait. It's the choice to keep going when no one is watching, and the decision to stay focused when distractions come knocking. Every person who has achieved anything significant has done so through self-discipline, not by luck, not by bursts of inspiration, but by doing what needed to be done over and over, especially when they didn't feel like it. That's what separates high achievers from dreamers. It's not the size of the goal, it's the strength of the daily habits. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it leads with commitment. It builds muscle in the moments of resistance. And over time, those moments compound into results that others call extraordinary. It's easy to set goals. Anyone can say they want success, freedom, health, or wealth, but goals without discipline are just empty declarations. Discipline turns intentions into systems. It puts structure around your desire. It creates boundaries so your focus can flourish. When you're disciplined, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop justifying delays. You do the work not because it's convenient, but because it's necessary. You trust the process, knowing that every small, disciplined action adds up, even if results are invisible at first. The beautiful part about self-discipline is that it gives you control. In a world filled with uncertainty, discipline is your personal power. You might not control the economy, your circumstances, or other people, but you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control what you choose to do with your time, your energy, and your focus. And that control builds confidence. It sharpens your character. It creates a version of you that doesn't crumble under pressure, but rises because of it. Self-discipline also builds trust, not with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, who finishes what they start. And that trust becomes the foundation for greater challenges and higher goals. Because once you know you can rely on yourself, there's no limit to what you can pursue. The road from goal to achievement is never straight. It's filled with tests, temptations, and moments of weakness, but self-discipline is the anchor that holds you steady. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Show up, stay focused. Keep your word, and remember, the dream is free, but the grind is not. Self-discipline is the price, the process, and the path. And those who walk it long enough eventually arrive at the life they once only imagined. So here you are, standing at the edge of what could be the most powerful chapter of your life. not because of what you hope for, but because of what you're now willing to become. You've seen the patterns. You've felt the pull. You know that dreams without action are dead weight. You know that time doesn't wait, and neither should you. The truths you've just heard aren't suggestions. They are laws, unchanging, undeniable, and fully available to anyone bold enough to apply them. This isn't about wishing for transformation. It's about deciding to transform. It's about stepping out of the cycle of excuses, silencing the noise of the world, and locking eyes with the person you know you were created to be. The person who doesn't just start, but finishes. The person who doesn't just talk about change, but becomes the change. The person who doesn't surrender to fear, but uses it as fuel, because deep down you already know there's more inside of you. More strength, more clarity, more destiny, but this time you're not waiting on perfect timing. You're not waiting on someone else's permission. You are the permission. This is your moment to act. Not next month, not next year, not when you feel ready. Now. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets to believe you were meant for more. And yet, with every disciplined step, every focused decision, you reclaim that belief. You rebuild momentum, you rise. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to live numb, distracted, or stuck. You were made to lead your life, to master your mind, to build something that echoes beyond your time here. You were made to walk in power. And every principle you've learned is a tool in your hands, a seed you can plant, a path you can walk, a standard you can live by. So close the gap between your potential and your reality, burn the bridges to your excuses, and take one step today, just one, that your future self will thank you for, not because it's easy, but because you've finally decided that it's worth it. Your life doesn't change by chance. It changes by choice. And right now you have a choice to return to comfort or to rise into your calling. The clock is ticking, the world is waiting, and greatness is watching to see what you do next. Now go, become, and don't look back.